Hello, hello, it's June Olson with Junebug Creations, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, coming to you live from a sunny Whitefish, Montana. Woohoo! Loving the sun, but boy, is the grass is growing so fast because we had the sun, then we had rain, then we had sun, and everything is starting to grow. It's wonderful. So happy Tuesday. If you're a Star Wars person, like I am, then you did May the 4th be with you on Sunday. And then yesterday we had Revenge of the 5th, and today is Rise of the Sith. So I don't like all the negativity. I think we need to go find more ones for the light side versus the dark side, right? So I don't know. If you're into Star Wars, that's just a fun thing. And then it even goes on in some places you can see, and there were lots of really cool pictures. Heathrow Airport did something really cool. I don't know if it was yesterday or just a re-picture for other past years, but it was pretty cool. So today it's Tuesday, so we're going to do our kit together Tuesday, and I have found a kit that I haven't even opened yet. The plastic is off of it, I noticed, but nothing else is open. So let's go ahead and get started. And then the other thing I wanted to tell you is it's on. So we can now, oh, funny how that makes me dark. You can now order out of the new catalog as of today. I know, mine are sitting on the table. They are coming out to you. If you've never gotten a catalog from me before, make sure you comment below so that I can get one out to you, or message me your address. If you usually get a catalog and you have placed an order of at least $50 or more in the past year, I will get those out to you this week. I'm finishing them up. I don't know if you saw my post this weekend. I was at a 3-day retreat, so I was not able to work on getting catalogs in the mail. I was quite busy prepping and carrying on with that. So I will have them out this week in the mail. I promise. They are almost ready. I've got the bookmarks done. I've just got a few other little things to stick in there for you. So we'll be doing the catalog walkthrough too. That will also be in your catalog when you get it, the little thing. And then I haven't decided if we're going to do a make and take or if we're going to do a game. So we'll see. We'll see. Let me finish figuring that out now that my brain is off of the retreat. But let's go ahead and do today's kit because I'm excited to do this one. So it is all inclusive. All you have to do is add the scissors as always. It uses the gray granite ink spot. And of course I brought in my regular size ink spot, and it's got some fun little stamps. So these are birds. Here's some flowers. Here's a lighthouse. I love lighthouses. And here is a sailboat. And it is called the Maritime Moments Kit. All right, so let's take a look at this. I'm excited. We have a new stamp set in, I don't know if it's in the catalog or if it's online exclusives, but it's in the online store in any case. That is also maritime. It's got a sailboat. It's got an, I don't have that one at this time. It's got a sailboat. It's got an embossing folder with the die cut. It's a hybrid, so that means the embossing folder and the die cut and emboss at the same time, and it is a sailboat. I'm not sure, like I said, I'm not sure if it's in here. I can show you the inside of this now. Let me see if it says in here. Where's my, I'm still learning this one. That's why. All right, let's see. I don't have my glasses. I'm not even sure where they are. This is going to be fun. All right, I'll have to find it for you. I think it may be an online exclusive. Let me just look here, a few of these. Yeah, I think it might be an online exclusive, which means you can only find it in the online catalog. I'm just kind of looking through to see. Those are scrapbooks. Yeah, I'm not seeing it right now, so I'm going to guess it's probably an online exclusive, which is still awesome because you can get them. just as easily as if they're in the catalog. So we have some tear and tape. We have some linen thread. I think this is fast becoming one of my all-time favorite ribbon, baker twine, whatever. It's not coming apart, the bag. And I don't know where my glasses are. You should see my room. You should absolutely see my room. It is a disaster. Actually, do you want to see my room? Let me go ahead. I'm going to switch. I'm going to let you see what it looks like after a retreat in here. All right, so here we go. There. Look at all of that. I have to go through all of that and get it all back in order. And then even, see, I cover it nicely, but even back there, it's a disaster. And even right here, it's a disaster. So after a retreat, or when you're working on, when I'm doing a retreat, everything, every surface gets used in this room. Even there's stuff even piled on the floor behind me, between the two counters. It's a mess. So I will be working on getting all that cleaned up this month for sure. I need to have everything cleaned up before the end of the month when I have my local card club ladies come, so that they have a place to sit. We have some glue dots, and we have all three kinds of adhesive. We have the tear and tape, we have dimensionals, and we have glue dots. You get a block for your stamps, all right? But as usual, I'm going to use my ergonomic blocks. I couldn't even think of what it's called. Hi, Mary Beth. Hello, Betsaida. Geez, I just messed up your name again. How are you? I am so glad to see you. I haven't seen you in a long time. You're racing back in high school for racing. Been on, I can't make out what that is. And I don't have my glasses and I don't know where they are, so I'm having a hard time reading that. So you've been on a sailboat racing. Oh, back in high school. Ooh, that sounds fun. So wow. And Mary Beth, have you been on a sailboat? I've been on a sailboat. I love it. I love being on the water. I just absolutely loved it. And I've also done, not parasailing, it's the surfboard with the sail that you hold up. Can't remember, it's not called parasailing. I don't think it's called parasailing. I don't remember anymore, but I've done that too. I love being out on the water. So anyways, I'm using my thicker block because it's easier to manhandle, or not manhandle, and I have my different sizes so that I don't have to trade out the blocks quite so much. And there's only 4 stamps on here, so it'll be nice and easy for me today. All right, so let's go ahead and switch back. All right, at least we know they're not on your head. Yeah, nope, they're not on my head. They're in one of those baskets or tubs or totes over there from the weekend. I did have them over the weekend. So look at these. These are awesome. All right. And these are the envelopes. Ooh, and they have them in the different colors. Anything on the fronts? Nothing on the fronts. We can stamp on the front. Super cute. I love lighthouses. One day I would love to go take a tour of all the lighthouses in the world, but I guess start on one side of the country and then go the other. I have been to a few. I've been to one on Kauai. I've been to one in Oregon, La Quinta. And I've been to some in Germany. So I've been to some, but I would really like to just go see all of them and be able to compare. All right, so we have this one. So this kit is in multiple languages. So the stamps show the different, well, actually, there's no words, so it actually works out perfectly for them. But I'm just going to, I like to just fold it in like that, and that way I know these are my stamps like that. All right, so we have here, so there are only, this is unusual, There's only 2 of each design of 3, so there's only 6 cards in this one. That's an unusual thing. Normally there's 9 cards. So I don't know if they're just trying something out, but there is a lot of detail to these cards. So I'm not sure what's going on here. In the back, it shows you the ingredients, and then it shows you the coordinating colors. Balmy blue, Cajun craze, garden green, granny apple green, gray granite, night of navy, pecan pie, and pool party. All some really fun colors. And then of course we have our no fail instructions. All right, and we're gonna start here with the ingredients page. So I'm going to move these out of the way here, and we'll bring in our envelopes. So we're gonna do one of each. So, and this is probably one of those kits that I probably would not do a whole lot of altering to the cards. 1, because there's only 6 cards, so there's only 2 of each. And 2, because it looks like they're pretty detailed, but we'll take a look. If I have an idea for an alteration, I'll let you know when I have it. Of course, the majority of any alterations could be using embossing folders. That is one quick and easy way that you can just spice it up a little bit and add a little bit to it. So hold on, let's get this in the right order. Here we go, 1, 2, 3, and this is card 3. So you could totally emboss that. This is card base 2. And this is card base 1. All right, so there's that, and then we're going to find all the different pieces that go with it. So, and I'm just pulling from the pile. So there's the pelican. We used to have a stamp set that had the pelican and a die, and that's for card 3. Then we have the anchor that goes with, let's see, where's an anchor? Anyone see the anchor? Oh, there it is, that one. So that goes on card 2. And then we have the seaweed and the starfish that goes on card 1. And then here's for the other card. And then we have these. So we have the sailboat is for card 2. This one is for card 1. And, here we go. We have this big sailboat cutout right here, like this, and then we have the circle of the boat over here, and then we have our little plaid for this one. All right, and then we have this, and this is textured, so they've already embossed this. The 3 of these go for card 3. So yes, the first thing that comes to my mind would be embossing the card bases. Even though this is already embossed, you can mix embossing folders. All right, and then we have our sentiments, and of course 2 sets of sentiments, and we have it in the 3 languages. So we have, no, 4 languages. So we have English, German, French, and Dutch. So we need the, let's see, this one, this little strip goes over here with this one. Celebrate, and that's a different kind of sail than the Celebrate, the S-A-L-E that we have in January, February. This one is Celebrate, S-A-I-L. All right, and then we have this one, To a Great Guy, over here. And then we have this one, Best Wishes for a Perfect Day. So this can be masculine, or it might be that you have a girl like me who loves the water and lighthouses and things, and so this would be a great card for them as well. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to move that over there. We'll start with our stamping for card 1. Here we go. We're going to stamp our lighthouse up here on this card over here. So let's grab our lighthouse in the gray granite. All right, so we'll do that. And I'm going to practice on here because you want to make sure that it stamps well. Every now and then the photopolymer, oh, and I learned something new. You want to just kind of rub this either with your fingers or you can rub it on your jeans or whatever, but you want to just kind of rough it up so it's not quite so sticky. All right, and then you can ink it up, stamp it. There we go. So ink it up. And we'll stamp it right here, and it's got the grooves fully intended to be right over those houses. And we're stamping it off just a little bit, which is totally fine. Did they stamp it off here? Yep, it went off just a little bit, but they have the grooves here to go above those houses, so you want to watch for that. Let's go ahead and zoom you in a little bit more because you're a little bit out there. All right, so you can see that it had the grooves up here that went right along those houses. All right, and then that's it for stamping for this one. All right, I'll put that over there. Let's put our card together because this one is really pretty. I like it. I like it, I like it. And so the other thing you could do also is if you had ideas for this, you could also cut these and do this as 2 different card fronts, and you could get that stamp set and that coordinates, or can coordinate. I don't think it specifically coordinates, but you could do them together and make more cards because the backs of these cards lend themselves to be a front of the card. So whenever there's 2 sides that look the same, I tend to cut them, and then I can make 2 cards using regular cardstock for the base. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is put some tear and tape on here. And let's see, I have a started one, so I like to use my started one that's getting closer to being gone. And so I just like to do that. And then we'll go ahead and put that on each side of this, like that. And just measure it. You can cut it with scissors if you want, but of course you don't have to. I tend to just use my fingernails. All right, I like to push that down and then use this end to pull it up. Had a lot of people really loving and using their take your pick tool that they got the last one. At the last retreat, they got take your pick tools. So they were pretty happy about those. All right, so then this goes over here and a little further away on this side than top and bottom, so it's not quite centered. It's a little further away, like that. And then this is on dimensionals, and I'm going to go ahead, it came with minis, but I'm going to go ahead and use my larger ones because I prefer the larger ones when I have a bigger space. But of course, if you don't have larger ones, use what comes with the kit because that's the whole point. They work just as well. They put more on because they're smaller. They put 3 rows of 3. When you have the larger ones, you can just do the 5 and that works well enough. All right. And then you can use your take your pick tool, which you don't have to have a take your pick tool to do the kits, but those of you that have it, wouldn't you agree that the take your pick tool makes your kit even easier? Oh, that one didn't come off. All right, I'm like, wait, how come that's not sticky? All right, so then that one is going to go over here, like that. Then we're going to put a little strip of tear and tape on here, like that. And I am just following. So this is showing you to fold the card. This is showing you where to stamp. This shows you where to put the dimensionals. The dimensionals are the white hexagons. The roll is the tear and tape, and the dots are the glue dots. And it shows you where to put everything, and then it shows you the next step on the card. So they've made it super easy, no fail instructions. Anyone can do it. Pretty much any age that can follow instructions like that. So probably not, not a toddler, obviously. I mean, unless they're that brilliant, which they could be. There are a lot of those out there. All right, so this one's going to go a little bit higher up here, like that. Then we're going to use the dimensionals on here. And again, I'm going to use my big ones because I've got them started and they're right there in front of me. But if you don't have any, then use what comes in the kit, because that's the whole point. That's how it's designed. All right, so before I do that, I need to do my glue dots on the back of here. All right, so I like to lift it this way from the bottom up. And we're going to put one right here. One right here, nice big open spots for it. And one right here that's not very open, but it's probably going to be partially covered. And then you're going to pop off those little white tops. All right, so just pop it off. Oh, come on. Doesn't want to come off. So how many of you have birthday cards this month? How many to make? Like, how many birthdays? We have a lot of birthdays in my family. My mom's birthday is tomorrow. My dad's birthday is the 26th. My uncle's birthday was yesterday. May seems to be quite the birthday month. So we're going to put this over here like that. And then this will go on top of that, just down a little bit, like that. All right, and there you have it. There's no twine, there's no linen thread on this, just very simply done. All right, a little stamp, and then just layer everything up. All right, cute, cute, cute. Gotta love it. I do, I do. All right, you know what? Let's just go ahead and put a lighthouse in here though, because why not? Let's just dress it up a little bit on the inside. We'll just put that little lighthouse in here because I love lighthouses. So I'm just gonna put it down there. All right, and then we had some birds in here, so I'm gonna add the birds to it. All right, just like that. And that way I have some birds. Now you could cut the birds apart if you didn't want to use them all at once. You could cut that stamp apart and use the birds individually, but I decided to just go ahead and do it like that. And that way we have a little bit of something on the inside. You could also do the outside of the envelope. We know the inside is decorated nicely, but we could also do the outside of the envelope. All right, just like that. And then it just gives them a hint. Ooh, there may be something special inside. All right, so there is card 1. You use the tool a lot for a lot of things. Big birthday month is June. Yeah, I'm the only one in the family with a June. No, that's not true. My brother-in-law also has a June birthday. And I think actually the twins' birthday may be at the end of the month. So June is, yeah, June has become, it used to just be mine, but now in-laws have helped increase that one. So we, yeah. And then I think August is often a popular month too. I have a lot of friends in August. April was a big month for lots of friends. All right, here we go. Let's do number 2. All right, so number 2, we'll just do this one in order. So first they say to fold the card base. So we'll fold it again. You could emboss it if you wanted to. This one you could even emboss possibly. The other one you can emboss with the wavy embossing folder, and then this one you could do the wood one going up and down if you wanted, or the birch bark one if you wanted. I wouldn't use the exposed brick on this one because it doesn't really go with the water, and the wavy one would kind of contradict these lines. So your birch bark one would go this way, and there are, you know, boats and things made from the birch bark, and then of course the other wood one would also work. I don't know if it's still current, the wood one, so don't quote me on that one because things have changed and I still need to pull out all the stamps, all my stamp sets that are now retired or on the last chance list waiting to be discontinued. So it's one of those situations where I'm not 100% sure what's what yet because there are so many changes in how they do things. So everything that was in this catalog is on the that's not in the new catalog is on the last chance list, but some of the things are in the online exclusives. All right, so yeah, my suggestion for you is go to the online store, just click on shop all products unless you're specifically looking for something, you know. Just click on all the products or use the filters to find the different things that you're looking for, the different themes or the different colors. If you know the stamp set name, that's even better. But I would just say don't stress about it. All right, until we all learn this new way, just don't stress about it. So this one shows that we're going to stamp this right here. So I want to make sure it stamps good. Yep. There, I had one part that didn't stamp, so I wanted to make sure. All right, and now we're just going to put it across here like that. And I'm just going to rub all the way to make sure, yep, that's stamped well. And then this one is going to be as if it's one in the background. So let's stamp that here, yep. And so we're stamping this right on this edge. And you're going to stamp a little bit on here, but it's going to be covered, so don't worry. There we go. It just shows one in the background. All right, and then we're going to put dimensionals on the back of this, and again, I'm going to use my larger ones. And then I just use 5. If you use the smaller ones, you're doing 3 rows of 6, or 3 rows of 3. There we go. Sometimes my nails do better, but right now they're not. So we'll just go ahead and use the take your pick tool. All right, so this one is going to go right here. Make sure you open it the right direction. It gets centered right on here. Then we have our sentiment to a great guy. And I'm going to use the small ones on that actually. They show 2, but I find that it's a little wobbly, so I like to do 3. And then there's no wobble to it. All right, so it doesn't wobble. And this is going to go right here in the center of this. There we go. All right, and then we're going to, there's already a hole in that. We're going to put some linen thread. I don't have my glasses, so wish me luck on this one. Hi, Missy. Yes, you're late to the party, but it's not over, so just thank you for joining us. All right, I don't have my glasses. I don't know where they are. I didn't even think about them until I sat down here. So let's see if we can figure out where the start is. Usually I find it pretty easy. Oh, there it is. Woohoo! I did it without glasses. All right, so then I'm just gonna do a little short piece. All right, they say 8 inches. I did 5 inches. But based on this, I don't think you really want 8 inches. You'd have to cut off a lot. All right, so I'm gonna stick that through. Am I going to stick that through? Let's see if I'm gonna stick that through. Again, I guess I need my glasses. Ooh, I got it. Woohoo! Yay me! All right, now I know. I'm kind of at that stage, I guess, where I really need to kind of like have my glasses right here by my computer. I didn't even think about them at all. Like didn't even cross my mind. All right, let's try this again. So, here we go. All right. This isn't the glasses. This is just me having done it too short. So maybe doing it 8 inches is a better idea than 5, so you can actually tie it without struggling. Here we go. All right, so done that, and trim that off. Oh yeah. All right, and then they just say one little mini right here. Little mini right there. And a glue dot. There we go. I was going to say, how is that going to hold still? So I'm going to use you can use smaller glue dots. If you use this one, I recommend kind of rolling it up so it's not sticking to everything else. So they have just a little glue dot up here. Pop that off. But then you're going to take it and you're just going to kind of roll it up. Okay, see that? Everybody say roll if you can see that. You're just going to roll it up so that all you see, if you have a smaller glue dot, I would highly recommend it. But that way, you're going to stick that there so it doesn't come off. And then this goes like that. All right, but that way that's there and it's not flip-flopping all over the place. And then we're going to take this solid piece and we're going to put some dimensionals on it, and it's a larger piece, so I'm going to go ahead and use my larger ones. Right, and it's going to go on top, and that's going to cover where we stamped on the sail. All right, because I'm sure when you stamped on the sail, you were like, wait, June. Nope, you were supposed to stamp on the sail because this is going to cover that just like that. And so then it just looks like there's another boat in the background. All right, look at that. Awesome. Love it. What do you think? To a great guy. Do you have a guy that you could send this to? So let's go ahead, and on the inside we're going to go ahead and we're going to do that sailboat again. Here we go. All right, do the little sailboat. Then we're going to do the birds again. All right, do the little birds. We didn't have to do it on this. And where's our envelope? On the envelope, we're going to do our little sailboat again. Right there. All right, just like that. So, keeping it simple, but adding just a little bit more. I mean, they have this inside, but they won't see that until they open it up, and most people just cut across here, right? So they may or may not see it. So let's go ahead and do that like that. And there is card 2. Nice, right? Are you liking these cards? So it's called Maritime Moments. This one also would lend itself to the wavy embossing folder if you wanted to add that to it. Oh, here it is. All right, here we go. We want to make sure, let's see, does it go that way? No, it goes this way. So then you wouldn't do your wavy because that would kind of mess with your lines. But on this one, you have these waves. So you really wouldn't have to. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is stamp. See, we folded that, and the second thing is to stamp the birds. We already know they stamp well because we've used them twice. So we're going to stamp the birds right up here. Love those. All right, and then that's it for the stamping. But you know what? While we've got it here, let's just go ahead and stamp. We're going to stamp the birds. I'm going to do them up here. All right, and I think I'm even going to do them back here. And then while we've got this, we're doing it this way, we're going to stamp them up here. All right, so we've just added a little something something to the inside and to the envelopes. Envelope. All right, let's move that out of the way. And let's put our card together. So we're going to do our strips on here. So the other thing you could do to kind of change it up if you wanted to, you could put dimensionals on here and strips on this. Whereas right now they want us to do dimensionals on all of this and strips. What's this? Hold on. So, oh, you're doing just the dimensionals on one side of this so that when you flip it over, it's not going to be wonky because this will be on dimensionals too. So, always look closely at your diagrams. Otherwise, you end up putting, like me sometimes, putting things on too close together or too many. And then we're going to do one on his head. So I'm going to use the mini on his head. All right, and then we're going to do this way over here. And then they do this kind of as a cross. And that way you don't have any sagging in the middle because you are putting some weight on top of it. All right, and then we have our twist. So, roll, yep. Thanks, I thought that was a great card. I really like it. So we're gonna just put, we're gonna put 2 strips of this on each one. We'll see, I may finally finish this one off and have to start a new roll. Well, not a new from the kits. The kits are great for giving you rolls. I rarely have to buy any of this because there's usually extras in the kit. So always keep the adhesive from your kits. It lasts. Can go a long way. So I don't know, I think I personally for this would probably have been inclined to do, that's where it ended, to do corners. So like maybe here, 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 and here. I don't know, you could do the whole thing. So this one's over and done. So then I have this one. This is the one that came with the kit. So now I'll start it. There we go. And you can do it the whole length. I mean, there's really all kinds of ways. It's going to stay once, and then I'm going to start with my middle one and then do the outside edge ones. All right. That's the best way I have found when doing these kinds of things, of doing the middle one first. All right, so I'm going to do the middle one first. It looks like there is a pattern to follow, so you have here this pattern. You want to make sure that the waves are up, not upside down. There we go. And then do this one. And they're kind of close together. They have the same border all the way around it. Here we go. There we go, like that. And then we'll put our circle on there. And it is over to the left-hand side. Looks like it's centered top to bottom, but it is over to the left-hand side. And, oh, no, we don't want to do that one yet. All right, so then on here, you know, they always have stuff wrapped around, rope wrapped around. So we're going to do that with our linen thread. So what I like to do, they aren't calling for it, but I'm going to use a glue dot to stick it down. Because that's going to make it stay better. So I'm just going to put a glue dot right there, and then we're going to wrap it around a bunch of times. Said 14 inches. I didn't use 14 inches worth. And then I'm just going to, oh, it's stuck. So my glue dot stuck out. I'm going to cut this off so it's not hanging. Although I guess it could hang. It wouldn't matter. It is, you know, at the ocean, there's all kinds of things hanging. All right, so then you have that all tied around. And there we go. And that's going to go right on here. Is it on? It's on. It looks like it should be off. See? So that's where I needed to pay closer attention here. And I'm going to tear that one off. And this is probably where you do want to use a mini, because that way you can have it more towards the outside edge, because that's going to be hanging off a little bit. There you go. Oh, guess it needed to be more towards the inside edge. There we go. Oop. There we go. That way it's on here. And then we're going to use this. Well, that doesn't make sense. I think I'm going to change this up a little bit because it's a little wonky. Gonna be, well, okay, here we're gonna go. We're gonna stick 2 on there because this is already raised up. Raising that up just once isn't going to be enough. Oh, now I see. That's what they're telling you to do. All right, see how it has the double circles right there, the double things? So you have to put 2 of them on there. Yeah, I get there. I do. I got there. I'm a little slow on the uptake there, but I got there. See, so you have to have double so that it's not wonky, because then you're going to do this, and that way it stays flush. Okay, you see that? It stays flush. It's not curving up. If you just had one over here, it would be curving up, because this is higher. This is significantly higher, because here it is, and then here. So there we go. That actually looks pretty good. All right, you see, it's not all curving up, it's still pretty flush. All right, I think if I were to do the second one, or when I do the second one, and see that one needs two also. I think, because it's touching this and it's too high. There. All right, so I did two. You can see, because you have this layer, and then it's not flush, because then you have it again. So here we have two here to keep his head up, otherwise it's curving down the circle, and then you have two here so that it's all flush. All right, so you can see that. All right, so those are just some little tidbits. Do you have to do it that way? No. The double dimensional is a new trick. Missy, I've used it before. Hi, Joanne. I think I've used it before, only in cases like this, where you've got dimensionals here, you've got dimensionals here. Well, to make this flush, it's got to be double dimensional, because these two are already dimensional. Same with this, you know, putting it here. This is dimensional, this is dimensional. This head was curved down because it was stuck to this with one dimensional. So yeah, that's, I don't do it very often, because I don't do that many layers that stack up on each other. But when I have used double dimensionals. I've never seen it in a kit. Maybe not. Can't think of it off the top of my head that I have. But yeah, sometimes you do have to do that if you want things to be flush. That's the only way to get it flush when you're using these. But you can see there's kinds of these steps here. So, but great cards. What do you all think? Love the pelican. Love the pelican. Actually, I really like all three. Do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite? So this is 3, 2, and 1. Let me get back out a ways so you can see. Which one is your favorite? 1, 2, or 3? Which one do you think? I don't know. I like elements of each. I like the sailboat. I like how it's popped up. I love this. I thought this was ingenious when we first stamped it there. I was like, what the heck? But that looks great. And of course, it's kind of like seaweed kelp. I do love this coming from behind there. That looks really awesome too. I like that we stamped the lighthouse. And of course, I like the pellet. I like all of them. I really do. So that is May's Paper Pumpkin. No. Nope, this is a kit collection. This is not a paper pumpkin, because it's Tuesday. It's a kit collection. It is Maritime Moments kit. And there's 2 of each card. So there's 6 cards in this kit. I do not know the price off the top of my head, but it's probably around $20, I think. Maybe 23. I don't remember it off the top of my head. But there's 6 cards. They're actually very beautiful cards. And they're not paper pumpkin. So you could use the wavy folder on this, like I said. You could use the birch bark or the other wood one on this if you wanted to. This one already has this texture, so I probably wouldn't do anything to this one. I don't like to go overboard with my texturizing and my embossing. You could add some Wink of Stella. Like you could add some Wink of Stella to the bird's wings or to the underwater stuff here, the seaweed and the shells and stuff. You could put some Wink of Stella on there if you wanted to spice it up a little bit. But overall, and maybe on the sails if you really wanted to, or on the anchor. But if you are giving it to a man, a masculine, someone who, a guy, then yeah, you probably wouldn't necessarily Wink of Stella it. If you're giving it to a girl, you could add a little bit of Wink of Stella over here or something. They're really nice. You could even, like, if you didn't want to use Celebrate, if you had someone who was retiring or traveling, you could put a different sentiment piece up here. You could just flip it over and have it on white and stamp it in blue, in the navy blue, Night of Navy Blue. And same with this one. If you didn't want to a great guy and you had something else you wanted to put over, you could flip it and put it there. This one, the white would be a little bit stark, but you could also sponge it or use a brush to do it, and you could even, you know, stamp a different sentiment on the other side. So there are some possibilities for altering these cards, but they're really pretty as they are. I don't know, you know, other than maybe adding the embossing folders to these two and maybe Wink of Stella on this, I'm not sure I would really change anything. They're really pretty. No sentiment on the first one. Yes, there's a sentiment right here. It says Celebrate. It's hard to read. Celebrate the good life. Sail as in S-A-I-L, not the Celebrate that we have in January and February. So there is one here, but it's harder to read on the screen. There, you can kind of read it because it is so light. But there are sentiments on each of them. So I don't know. Do you have a favorite? No favorites? You've seen some samples with these stamps. Okay, so there is a stamp set. It must be on the online catalog, in the online exclusives, I mean. Let me see if I can find it. I just typed in sail. All right, here we go. Yes. So, Sunrise Sailing Bundle. Let me see if it's in the catalog. Otherwise, if it's not in the catalog, then it is. Nope, it's not in the catalog. No, it's not in the catalog. So it is an online exclusive. Let me see. Let me pull that up. Let me see if I can figure out. Let me see if I can share. Here's screen share. Window capture. Nope. Screen share. Nope. All right. I can't share it. I think my thing is only set up to share my words, my wheel of names. That's the thing. So there is a stamp set though called Sunrise Sailing Bundle. It is a stamp set, a die set, and a hybrid embossing folder. And it is pretty awesome. I keep looking at it, trying to go back and forth. Do I want it? Do I want it? Part of me wants it. The other part of me is, oh, will I use it? But there's a bunch of different sailboats that you can do with it. There's a stamp. There's three different sailboats in the dies. There's clouds, there's birds, there's waves, and then of course the embossing folder as well. So check that out online, Sunrise Sailing Bundle, if you're really into doing that. If you're really into sailing and you really like the nautical theme, then that one would be a great set for you, and you can now order it because it is open to everybody. So I want to say thank you so much for joining me today. Remember, the new catalog is live. The new online exclusives are live. The things that were in here that are not in the new catalog are either on the last chance list or they have gone to the online exclusives. So it's essentially a thing where you're going to want to, you know, if you know the name of it, put it in the search and it'll pull it right up for you and let you know where it is, and then you can order it. If you put in the name of a stamp set from this catalog that you really liked and it doesn't show up, that means it is gone, it is sold out, it's not coming back. If you put in a name of a stamp set that you know carried over into this catalog and it says currently unavailable, that means it will be back. They are just out of stock, but they are bringing it back. So when you see currently unavailable, it's coming back. If you can't find it anywhere in the online store, no matter what, it's gone. All right, it's gone. If you have something like that and you're like, oh, I really wanted that stamp set, I just kept forgetting to get it, message me and ask me, because I may have it in my retired stash, and I still have I still have to go through all those stamps to pull out the things that are not continuing on. So if there's ever a stamp set that you really wanted, or dies or ink pads or whatever, that is gone from the store completely, like you can't find it, you can't pull it up, then reach out to me and let me know. If it is in the online store, I cannot sell you what I have. You have to get it through the online store. So I think I made that clear as mud. Let me know if you have any questions about anything. I am always happy to answer it. You can either message me at June Olson, all right, or you can message through the comments. You can do a comment and I will get back to you on that. All right, so I wish you a great rest of your day. It's a beautiful Tuesday here. I trust you have wonderful weather there, maybe sailing weather. If we had a boat, we could be out on the lake today because there's a nice breeze blowing and we could be sailing around, but we don't have a boat. I've got a paddle, I've got a canoe, but that's not something I want to do yet. It's not warm enough for me. So have a great rest of your Tuesday, everybody. I will see you back here on Thursday at 1:30 for Paper Pumpkin Playdate, and I have 3 new alternates for you with our new kit. I worked on them this weekend. So enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your Wednesday. We will be celebrating Mom tomorrow for her birthday, and I will see you back here on Thursday. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.